Welcome back. We're here to talk about Saturday's Premier League match between Norwich and West Bromwich Albion. Pascal, we've got to start with Norwich 6-2 defeat to Newcastle last time out.
Yeah, they're on a bit of a bad run, aren't they? No winning four in the Premier League, down to 16th in the table. They had some good results in the first couple of months, but struggling of late. And 6-2 to Newcastle, who hadn't won a game in the league before that. Obviously, does read very badly. But watching the game back, looking at the stats, it's certainly a bit of a harsh result on them. In the first half, every time they fell behind, they got a goal back, and it was 3-2 at the break. They were certainly in the game then, but two goals in, I think it was 2 minutes in the second half, sort of midway through the second half. That was when it got away from them. And you look back at the stats, Newcastle only has 6 shots on target, so certainly, it's not like they completely dominated the game. Obviously, Wijnaldum very clinical, Perez as well, Mitrovic taking their chances, and Wijnaldum as well as scoring 4. He cleared one off the line as well. They hit the post twice. Norwich Brady with that fantastic long range effort in the first half. So they certainly caused Newcastle a lot of problems. For most of the game, in play it was quite an even contest, but Newcastle just had that game where everything goes in for them. And 6-2, very harsh on Norwich, but they certainly need a win soon because they are struggling.
Yeah, you might think it would be quite hard to take any positives out of a 6-2 defeat, but I think there are the positives to take for Alex Neil. They certainly seem to have the goals in their side to cause some size problems. 2 against Newcastle, could have easily been 5 against Newcastle. As you mentioned, the 1 cleared off the line, 2 hit the post, Houlihan as well as Brady's long range effort. So they got the goals there, but the big concern would have been defensively. Ruddy, 6 shots on target to face, conceded 6 goals, but to be honest, he couldn't really have done anything about any of them. The defence was poor at times. They just opened up for Wijnaldum. They gave him far too much space, didn't track his late runs into the box. Same with Mitrovic, his goal, the defence lost him for that. They've now, unsurprisingly, after conceding 6 in one game, got the worst defence in the league with 20 conceded in 9 games. That's an area they really need to improve, because if you're going to stay in this division, you can't be shipping goals like that. And Norwich, I said they've got a good attacking threat in their team, but not good enough to counteract conceding that many goals. So that is probably the number one priority for Alex Neil at the moment, to shore up his defence, because if you're shipping that many goals, you're not going to stay in the division.
No, certainly not. And you mentioned the defence there, but he's also got quite a different interesting choice up front of who he plays, because Mbakani started that game, scored that goal, really good finish actually, the way he ran into the box, found a bit of space, great cross from Olsen as well. He stuck it away there. Before that, Cameron Jerome was the starting striker, but he's got Gary Hooper, Lewis Grabban, both nearing full fitness now, so he's got the option there of sort of 4 strikers. He's only going to play one of them, and certainly be interesting to see who he goes with, because certainly you look at the attack stats, they've got the 8th best attack in the league, 14 goals in 9 games. Not really struggling to score goals, but he hasn't really got that one striker who he feels going to even get to double figures this season. You think he just might need to find that, because the players around him, Redmond's been on really good form, but you think the way Redmond's playing, opposition teams might target him more and try and shut him down a bit more. And if they do that and he gets kept quiet, they need that striker who really looks clinical. It was a good finish from Mbakani, but I'm not sure he's the guy to really lead the line. Maybe Hooper, Grabban, Jerome. It's hard to say really, but they don't really have a standout front man.
And whoever does play up front, they might fancy a chance against West Brom, because they haven't really been what you'd expect from Antonio Pulis' side defensively so far. They've shipped a few more goals than expected. Did keep a clean sheet last time out against Sunderland. Sam Allardyce's first game in charge. Always a difficult one when you're coming up against a new manager, so they'll be happy to come away with the 3 points there. A bit of a nothing game, you'd have to say. They were a bit lucky to get away with the victory with the way Berahino got his goal. There's probably 3 contentious issues in that goal which could have been given from the referee, but you have to say Pantilimon should have done better for Sunderland as well. But Berahino, he stuck it away, he was in the right place. The referee didn't give it, so West Brom come away with the 3 points. It's a good win for them. They haven't had the most convincing start to the season. That was a match they would have lined up and said, we need 3 points from this, against the Sunderland side who've struggled so badly at the start of the season, and obviously got rid of Dick Havergat, brought in Sam Allardyce. So all in all, not the best performance, but a good 3 points and an important victory.
Certainly was, and I think the goal probably shouldn't have stood. I think the first challenge when he goes up for the ball, Pantilimon, he had 2 hands on the ball, and he should never have let it go. But it was the second one where Pantilimon jumped back on. He seemed to have 2 hands on the ball, and that's where Berahino got it away. But I think certainly in real time it was very hard for the referee to spot, and that's another goal for Berahino. That's 3 and 4 for him now, so he's back to form, which is so important for West Brom, because the other strikers they've got up there, Rondon, he sort of came in and did well in his first couple of games, but he's gone really quiet. Ricky Lambert hasn't scored since February, I don't think. He's going through a real dry spell. So Berahino back on the score sheet is good, and they certainly need that, because going forward they've only scored 7 goals this season. Only Watford with 6 have scored fewer than them. So they need Berahino to continue that, and they just need more goals from elsewhere, because he's obviously Berahino, that's half of their goals he's scored now, and there's just not many other players that you think are going to be chipping in, say, sort of 5-6 goals a season. You can't really see that, the players they've got, but they need someone to really step forward, whether that's a wide man, a central midfielder, or one of the other strikers. They need something like that, because they're not scoring goals at the moment. Obviously a clean sheet against Sunderland, Pulis side's usually good at the back, but if they want to push anywhere near the top half, they need to start scoring goals from all areas of the pitch.
So it's a struggling attack versus a leaky defence. Which way do you see it going?
It's a really, really tough game to call, actually. I think certainly Norwich will be lower on confidence given their poor form at the moment, but I think they should be able to give West Brom a game here, and I have to say a draw, 1-1.
Yeah, I completely agree. I can't really separate these two teams. Neither made the best start to the season, but both will be confident of getting something out of this game, so I'm also going to go for 1-1 draw. So neither of us two can separate these two teams. Thanks for joining us.